Today, let's look at layer effects. To find the effects, first you need to be on the layer that you want to apply these special effects to. And currently I'm on a typed layer, but this will work for any type of layer. And then I'm going to come down here to FX. And when I open this up, you'll see you have a lot of different options for different effects, bevel and emboss and things. If you just go ahead and click on the top one, blending options, that will open up your window to start making your effects. Now this blending options, I'm not going to get into today, but it'll help you blend various pictures into other layers back below. But I want to start talking specifically about some of the effects. Um, the first one is bevel and emboss. And as you can see here, I was doing some tutorials with Lord of the Rings, so you can see it kind of already pops out. But if I come back to the default, you see it just barely comes up a little bit. But all these are options for you. You have different kinds of options. You can go with different depths. So as you can see, you start to see it pull up there. I can do a little size. There we go. This one's in smooth. I can do chisel hard. Lots of different options for colors on highlight mode and shadow mode, and the angle of the shading, how that comes through. So you can see if it's coming from the side, top to bottom. Those are different options for you. There's different ways that this can contour, which will give you different looks with your bevel and emboss. See here. You can even customize that also. And you can add textures to it. So here you see some subtle patterns I have on there. Adds the patterns to there. And just like in our layers over here, if you want to take some of those off, you can. Take them all off. They're just through the check boxes. If you notice now down here, we have our stroke. And I actually have two strokes because you can add, just like in our layers, you can click and add multiple effects here. And of course, I can trash them just like I did with our layers. If I trash all my strokes but I still need a stroke, you'll find them right down here. So I can open that back up, there I'm back with my stroke. And here's a stroke is simply just an outline. I got this one put on the inside, so black on black, you're not seeing anything. So let's set that to the outside there. Of course, you can change color, change size, and it doesn't even have to be a color. It can be a gradient. There we go. Or a pattern. And just like your gradient fill options, you can do custom gradients here. You can choose gradients that are pre-made. You can change the angle of the gradients. You can change if it's radial or linear. So many different options for your gradients, and the scale, of course, too, with just this stroke option. Take that off, and now let's look at our inner shadow. Of course, again, I'm black on black right here. So you can't see that, but if I come back here and let's change my graphic design to be bright red real for a moment. There we go. You see the effects still applied to that, which is great. I'm going to double click right back on here and get me right back where I was. Now then we can look at inner shadow, and I'm going to turn the opacity up so it's easier to see, and the size. And then you can see that inner shadow in there. Let me turn off the bevel and emboss now. So there we can now really see it. You see it almost looks like it's cut out, and you have like a red piece of paper back below is what it gives the illusion of. Again, you've got lots of different adjustments here, angles. Again, you got the contour options, and of course you can change the color too. So you can make it, let's make it blue. Okay. And because it's a multiply, it's still not looking quite blue, but there's our blue on our blend mode, changing that. Again, same, here's the inner glow. I'm gonna turn off the inner shadow so we can see this, but you can see that inner glow there. Again, there's all kinds of different options you can do. You can change the color. There's the blue again, the quality with the contour base, softer edge, anything like that. Let's go with the sateen, which kind of gives it kind of a shiny-esque kind of feel to it, like a satin fabric feel. Here's basic color overlay. So instead of having my red that I just had, I just did a color overlay. So that's a quick way to change the color of something. Same thing with a gradient overlay. Here's a very faded color. Let me pick something better. There we go. Now you can see that. Of course, lots of options for this. Change the scale, angle, rotation, plenty of that stuff. Pattern overlay. Again, various patterns that can be applied. They're all editable, things like of that sort. Here's an outer glow, so much like our inner glow, but this time it's glowing on the outside. And a very popular one, drop shadow. See how that drop shadow looks. Most of the time it comes in with a little bit softer on the size thing. And if you created some special look, you wanted this with a colorful stroke like this, and you wanted to apply this to a bunch of different stuff, you can save it as a new style and then open your style window and have that as a pre-made, so you wouldn't have to recreate that over and over. And now I'm going to hit OK. And you'll see down here, you'll see these effects just stacked down below your regular layer, and you can open and close that little effect window, and you can hide and bring back. And again, if I double click, it can open me right back up to this option to make any changes that I would like to make to that. So maybe I want to go with the green shadow. And there we go. And ta-da, that is our effects. And remember, it's right down here at the bottom. Get you started. And you can open that up and see your layer style or effects window.